So you know skills and connectors are what make Claude special. So in this video, in video 2 of the series, we're going to go through how to connect to multiple connections at once, and then how to turn that workflow into a skill so that you don't need to prompt as much. You can just put in the skill and it'll know what to do and it'll do it all for you while you go on a nice walk, you enjoy a nice lunch, whatever it is that you're doing, you can enjoy and Claude will do the work. So let's get into the basics and start a conversation calling one of the connectors and then calling on multiple connectors. So looking at my dashboard, I follow a simple protocol when I'm writing my prompt for the first time. The first thing I do is I tell it the context, then I give it a role, then I give it the actual task, and then I'm super clear on which MCPs to call. If you're going to be using credits, and you can see I've already used 75% of my weekly limit just from this session alone, then you're going to want to make sure that you get the answers right. So when we move on and we turn it into a skill, you'll know it works well. So I'm going to fill this out, and basically what I'm looking to do is I'm looking to tell a customer a few times I'm available this next week. This way it's going to access my Google Calendar, and then it's going to return what days I'm available. Okay, so here is a very simple prompt. I gave it the context, which is I'm looking to meet with a client. I gave it the role. Again, if you set your personalization rules, it should already know who you are. I gave it the clear task, exactly what I want out of this, and then I told it which MCP to use directly. Now, if you wanted to get specific, you can use the specific tools in the MCP to get even more direct, but in this case, I'm pretty confident Claude will know what to do. So now I'm going to go ahead and run my actual prompt. When I run my prompt, you're going to see that Claude's going to start a new conversation in this case, and then it's going to run the actual prompt itself. You're going to see exactly what it's doing and which MCPs it's calling on. In this case, it queried the Google Calendar list events. It's going to find which events I have, then it's going to find different time frames, etc. So you can see everything the tool is doing here. I recommend looking at the tools as they're working because a lot of the times something might not work well. You can see it was very quick to do that, and now it's actually going to give me the time slots that work best. After checking my calendar, I saw that these dates were really accurate, so that's good. You may want to check what Claude says versus what the actual data is to build confidence. I found it's pretty damn close. Now I'm going to do another prompt, except this time in the same conversation with a completely different connector. This is the power of Claude, by the way. I'm going to send an email to Paul Munko and personally invite him to the office using the timeframes above, and then I'm going to let him pick a time, and I'm going to use the Gmail MCP and put it into a draft. So in the same conversation, I've used one connector, and now I'm going to use a completely different connector. The context is going to follow through, so Claude knows exactly what to write. So there we go. It went ahead and saved that email as a draft. And now when I jump over to Gmail, you'll see that this was actually executed on my behalf. Inside of my Gmail account, you can see in the drafts, there is one here. It's written out to the exact person I want it to be written out to. It has all of the clear information that I wanted. It spoke in my tone. It gave him the timeframes that the MCP called on. And all of this was done with a single automation. So let's jump back into Claude and take this to a next step. Let's say I wanted to push this communication into Slack. Again, that might not be a use case I would actually use, but I'm trying to demonstrate to you how powerful this is when you have one conversation with multiple connectors. So here is my new prompt. I'm going to have it send a Slack message using a different connector. I used Calendar, Gmail, now Slack, all in one conversation, and I'm going to go ahead and run this. And by the way, if Paul did respond to it, in a future video, I'm going to show you how to run automatic email drafts, automatic calendar invites, scanning your email on a daily basis. So you can see it's thinking, it loaded some tools, and then it's searching users, it's doing all of this work for me, and then it's actually sending the message. Once that message is sent, I'm going to open up Slack and just show you the confirmed message sent. And then from there, we're going to talk about turning this into an actual skill. I can log into Slack and I can see that message was sent directly to Paul, and it will send this little tag that says sent using Claude. So he knows it was an automation and it wasn't me directly. Now that we're done, we can write a skill. A skill is going to do a lot of this in one shot without us having to explain it over and over again. So there's two ways to write a skill. One is you can create a custom GPT if you're using ChatGPT to do a skill for you and just like prompt it and it'll return with a skill. Or two is if you've actually just gone through the workflow, in this case I did, I'm just going to prompt Claude to create the skill text for me. So my prompt is really just going to allow Claude to just take what I just did and turn it into a skill. Now this is good for small skills and small workflows, but as you see in a future video, when we do skills that do multiple things at once, we're going to really want to think about what we're automating. So as you can see on the right side, Claude went ahead and wrote the skill for me. It gave me a description of what this skill should say. Now I could do this two ways. One is I can download this skill and I can upload it directly as an MD file, or I can just click the save skill button button there. And that's going to intelligently bring over the skill to my skills tab. So you can see that the skill is right here and my pre-built skills and shared skills are down below. There's organization skills as well, where the organization can set skills and it affects everybody's account. If I want to share this skill, I can simply click the share button. So my coworkers like Hannah, Paul, and Emily have this as an option as well. And now they can see it in their accounts and they can also use it. So with that being said, I'm going to start a new chat and I'm going to click the backslash button and I'm going to click on the actual meeting availability skill. And I'm just going to run this without giving it any context. So now that I've run this, Claude is going to automatically know what that skill entails connecting to all three of those tools. So without me having to tell it and without me having to go through that workflow, I could have given it some more context, but I want to showcase to you how quickly it can connect to multiple tools at once with just giving it the skill instruction. So now Claude has confirmed it ran the skill and it did it really quickly, by the way. So if we look at the draft, you can see it went ahead and put that in there. I used placeholders because I'm not actually sending this to anybody. It proposed the dates and it wrote all the copy. And then in Slack, it did the same thing at once. So one skill, multiple insights, multiple use cases. So that's how skills work. Now we're going to talk about how to map out skills effectively in your day-to-day role so that you can start to automate a lot of this stuff that you're doing. Okay, so now that you know how skills work and everything about them, I want you to ask yourself this question tomorrow at work. The question is, what do I do every day that's repetitive? Think about things like sending reports. Think about things like updating websites. Think about things like sending emails, sending updates, communicating in Slack, whatever that might be. Consider using a skill, and I want you to focus on 3 simple things. What do you do on a daily basis that's repetitive? What tools are you going to need access to potentially automate that? And what does a job well done look like at the end of a successful automation? Throughout the program, I'm going to be showing you some of my favorite automations, but this works best when you use your creative assets to do so. All right, so let's recap. What 4 elements constitute the recommended prompt when using Claude? This is what I use. It's context, role, task, and a specific MCP to call. You can waste a lot of credits by not following this. The second thing is, in the context of Claude workflows, what's a skill? A saved automation that allows you to execute multiple connector workflows without repetitive prompting. Really useful if you want to delegate to your team. Which specific protocol allows Claude to interact with external tools? This is the MCP. How can a user generate the configuration text for a new skill? This is my favorite process, is after I do the workflow automation, I will literally just have Claude take it and then turn it into a skill text and save it. What keyboard character is used to trigger the automation? It's the backslash. Besides manual saving via a button, and what file format can the skill be downloaded? You can download it as an MD, which is called a markdown file, becoming very important in the age of LLMs. What is the primary benefit of organizational skills? Well, this is going to allow everybody in your org, if you have an org, to set skills, and it'll just be in everybody's account. What is a recommended way to observe the tools while Claude is actively calling MCPs? I like to observe the tool calls. I like to watch it happen, and I like to catch errors. This is happening when you actually run the prompt. When evaluating a repetitive task for automation, what 3 factors could be identified? For me, it's the repetitive nature of the task, the tools required, and if I have those, and then what's the definition of a successful outcome. And finally, how does Claude maintain consistency when accessing multiple connectors? It does that by using the context from the previous conversation. So ideally, if you're working on a workflow, you chat and get it right, and then you have Claude write the skill. So in the next video, we're going to be talking about custom MCPs. These are MCPs that are not available in the Claude connector library, and you'll have to work with an external tool to provide your Claude account with access. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next episode of this series.